Because you will be, from the day you enter that institution, they will expect you to open up some vessel. They will expect you to open up an engine to see what's going on inside there. Whereas university will get a very, very theoretical approach, which is not necessarily a bad approach. You will need to achieve a minimum, pass everything in varsity. If you don't pass everything, you don't get to graduate to the next year and eventually be an engineer. By passing everything, I mean get 50% in everything, minimum. Don't get 50%. Aim for minimum 50%. Get 80%. How do you also get there? Once you've finished with your tertiary education, you will need to work about roughly 5 years and register with EXA. This is, by the way, some of you have to know this. The government requires engineers now to be registered. You have to be registered with the Engineering Council of South Africa. Why? So that if you build a bridge and it falls, the people's lives are lost. You have to account for why. You have to be able to tell them, no man, that Makulu guy downstairs forgot to screw the screw properly. You have to account for it. We are accountable for people's lives as engineers. I'm saying I'm inviting you to this wonderful opportunity. Come join me and help change people's lives. I'm going to mention a few of what Malebu mentioned, that there are perks as well. As much as you're responsible for, and you might be held accountable, there are perks. As an engineer who's been working, who has, let's say, less than 5 years experience, you get to earn about 8,000 to 30,000 rand per month, gross. It's alright. And if you get experience more than 5 years, you're looking at earning 400,000 rand plus per year. I'm not sure how that works out per month. It works out to about 30 to about 40,000 rand a month. That is if you have the experience. But you need to get this. You need to. It's a fun field to work in. Engineers are thinkers. We think. We think how we can take the sun's energy and put it as electricity in your house. Every day, an engineer is thinking, how can I do this? You think how you can improve on people's lives. People tend to think engineers take a hammer and bash things out. Before he does that, he thinks. 95% of your life is spent thinking. You think how can I make a better telescope? How can I make a better car? How can I take your wood that you sit on? How can I make that into something useful? It's a dynamic field. It's a field that I'm proud to be in, and I invite you to join me into this field. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you guys are inspired. There's about 4 items to go before we are launching, and that's going to be happening in the next 20 minutes or so. And then there will be lunch. I think what the other thing that I must hasten to point out is that most of the presenters here the informal sessions outside. So if there's any questions or whatever, you can please forward those to them in the informal sessions. Now, on coming to Petro SA, which is one of the sponsors, Renali, I think I want to introduce Horweza Angote, but he'll tell us what he does there. But he's also an ex-Tsogo student. Can we please welcome Ben Marokani?
Okay, good afternoon. Like the intention of this session is to give you guys examples of people who've been where you've been that can help you and guide you. When I left Tsogo, I finished in 1987. When I went to university, Dr. Matefe and Dr. Siku were students there. They did give me some guidance. Today, Dr. Siku has given me some guidance that I must not be longer than 5 minutes. And I will stick to that. As I said, my name is Ben Marokani. I finished my matric in Tsogo 1987. I followed the career in chemical engineering. The good speaker has already told you a lot about different engineering. I did chemical engineering at UCT. I worked as a process engineer, as a graduate metallurgist with the mines. I had an opportunity to go abroad and study petroleum engineering, a master's degree in petroleum engineering, which moved me from conventional engineering as we practice it in this country, but more for oil and gas search out in the seas. Today I manage all of Petro's